I am very excited to introduce you to Tricia Anderson, who is the Area Director for Young Life. And I just thank you so much for coming to the neighborhood. I'm so glad that you're here.
Of course.
And thank you for that laughing and the smiling. And there's going to be a lot of that as we go through this. One of the things that we were talking about, just to kind of introduce you and your personality and who you are as a human being.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a good friend? This is critical in our life.
Yes, especially in today, like where we're at, is people don't know how to be a good friend. I think we're always concerned with picking a good friend or finding someone that's a good friend to us. But it's very important that we ourselves are a good friend. And a portion of that is giving a lot of grace to others. A portion of that is being able to forgive and move on and be honest with others.
But what if it's people that you don't like or that you don't agree with or something like that? Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just being a good friend to the people that we agree with, though. Is that what you're talking about?
If you were to choose a friend, right? I mean, you're going to choose someone that you would want to be around and that would be agreeable with you. I don't think a lot of us are looking for friendships with an adversary.
Yeah.
So a lot of our work and our things that we get to do and spend time with students and teach and coach students through is how to be a good friend to those around you. And yes, sometimes there are difficult people that we just need to give grace to and walk with and forgive and forget and move forward with and maybe set a little tighter boundary with in those situations. But I think
we talked about trust too. And learn and how a person once we've earned their trust, that's part of learning to be that, to be a good friend to someone, especially if there's things that we don't agree with. And when you said that, how to be a good friend, I almost felt like that is like the new theme for Mr. Beirwagen's neighborhood.
I like it.
It is.
Yes, I need a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends. I need a lot of different friends. And I think sometimes we get so honed in on finding my BFF, my one friend. And high schoolers typically, I work with a lot of high schoolers, want just one friend. And I think it's important to have a lot of friends. I think it's important to have people across the board, a lot of friends that are different than you, friendships and circles that are diverse. Yeah, and I think we don't do that as much today. We look for people who are very similar or just like us, and I just want one person. And we need some relational equity. This was my language that we use in Young Life is earning the right to be heard. And I think in friendship, you can't always just expect someone to be just there for you and all of your problems and hear you and do what you want to do, when you want to do it, where you want to do it. I want to play this sport and I want you to sign up to do this sport with me. I want to trade classes and I want you to trade classes to be with me in this class. I hear this language a lot with students. I think it's important to have a lot of friends and not have these high expectations for friendships.
The last 2 years have created, with the shutdowns, have created difficulties for many people in even having friends in the first place. And so this skill is something that's even more critical now.
Yes. Yeah, the isolation created loneliness, and I think it made students, teenagers especially, really used to just that feeling of being alone, and they have a hard time entering back into relational kind of situations and social situations, and they don't know how to be around a lot of people emotionally, physically, socially. They just changed, and it just did. And it's like we have to recoach these students into how we act when we're around a lot of other humans, how we act when we're around a lot of friends, how we act when we're around younger people, how to respect older people. Like, I just think there's some of those things that just didn't happen. They were so used to just being alone that they lost a lot of those skills that we didn't see 10 years ago.
Or maybe didn't even have a chance to develop them in the first place for the younger kids.
Correct. Yeah, we see we talked about this, we see an 8th grader that missed 2 years of school socially. They were not interacting in school, and there's just some things you learn being an incoming sixth grader into middle school, you learned you're not the top dog. You learn to watch and respect the eighth graders. You learn your bottom of the totem pole, and you sit at these tables at the lunchroom, and this is kind of your quarters. These are eighth grade quarters, and it makes you excited to get to be an eighth grader. And they missed that, right? And they got stuck right into being an eighth grader without seeing how to be an eighth grader. Nobody ever showed them how to be an eighth grader.
They've not
hard.
seen it before.
Yeah.
I am
it's hard
so
for a
glad you're here.
student.
There's so many things that we are about to learn from you, and being a good friend is definitely a great place to start.
Yes, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important. Friendship is important.
Absolutely.